This story is written to unfold slowly and emotionally with key themes. Sincere love and sacrifice. Betrayal and abandonment. Loneliness and dua. Turning back to Allah. Spiritual growth and peace. I was only 21 when I married him. They said I was too young. Too naive. But I believed love would be enough. He was kind. Gentle. He prayed. He made me feel seen. I thought, this is the man I'll give everything to. And I did. I gave him my loyalty, my trust, my soul. We lived in a small flat at first, barely anything. But I cooked, cleaned, supported him, smiled even when I was exhausted. He was my dream come true, or so I thought. Months passed. Then years. He got a better job. We moved to a bigger house. I was proud of him, but I noticed something shift. He stopped praying with me. He became distant. Cold. I'd ask, are you okay? He'd say, don't stress me. I'm tired. He started sleeping late, locking his phone, ignoring me. And I kept trying. I thought, maybe I'm not good enough. So I cooked better. I dressed up. I smiled when I wanted to cry. One afternoon, he came home and said, I want space. This marriage, it's suffocating me. I froze. What do you mean? You're just, always there. I need something else. Is there someone else? I asked, shaking. Silence. That silence shattered me more than any slap could. He left. Just like that. No money. No explanation. He stopped answering my calls. Blocked me. Moved on with another woman. I had nothing, no husband, no savings, no strength. I cried every night. I questioned my worth. I screamed into my pillow. Ya Allah, why? What did I do wrong? Then one night, something changed. I sat alone, my eyes swollen from tears. And I made the most painful, honest dua of my life. Ya Allah, if this is how he chooses to treat me, then you choose me. Heal me. And make me love you more than I loved him. That night, I slept in peace for the first time in months. I started waking up for tahajjud. Reciting Quran daily. Watching Islamic lectures. Learning about women who went through worse, but stayed strong with Allah. I realized I was never alone. He left me with nothing, but Allah gave me everything. And that's when my strength returned. I started a small online business. I began helping sisters who had been through heartbreak. I became a voice for silent women. And every time I prayed, I smiled. Because now my heart beats only for the one who will never leave me. They say I lost everything, but in truth, I lost only what was never mine. And I gained what can never be taken, peace. Sabr. Faith. And a place with Allah that even marriage couldn't give me. The house was quiet. Too quiet. No footsteps, no phone buzzing with his voice. No door creaking open to say, I'm home. Just silence. At night, I'd wake up to reach for someone who was no longer beside me. I'd turn and see the empty side of the bed untouched. Cold. People said, be strong. But they didn't know that strength doesn't come easy when your world has crumbled. Some nights I stared at the ceiling and whispered to Allah. If this pain is from you, let it purify me. But don't let it destroy me. And subhanallah, in that loneliness, I began to feel something, not from this world. A stillness. A calm. Like Allah was near. She must have done something wrong. That's why he left. She couldn't keep her marriage. The whispers, they were worse than the silence. Some family members avoided me. Some blamed me. Even friends I thought would defend me stayed quiet. One aunt said to my mother, maybe she wasn't fulfilling his needs. As if being abandoned was my fault. I learned that the world rarely stands with a broken woman. But I also learned that Allah always does. So I cried less to people, and more in sujud. I stopped explaining myself to the world, and started trusting the one who never misjudges. One day, while scrolling online, I saw a quote. When the heart breaks, that's when the light enters. It hit me. Maybe this heartbreak was my invitation to come back to him. So I took my pain to the prayer mat. I poured my story into my du'as. I began to wear the hijab more consciously. I started reading Quran with meaning, not just for barakah but for healing. Every verse felt like it was meant just for me. I read. Perhaps you hate something while it is good for you. And I wept. Because maybe, being left was the best thing that could have happened to me. I looked around and saw other sisters, heartbroken, abandoned, silenced. And something in me lit up. I thought, what if I use my story to help them heal? So I began writing anonymously. Short notes. Reminders. Heart words. Sisters messaged me. Your post saved me from giving up. I thought I was alone. But now I know Allah sees me. I wasn't just healing, I was helping others heal. And that gave my pain a purpose. I started a small online business too. Not much. But enough to say, Ya Allah, you are truly Ar-Razak. Because when the world abandoned me, Allah gave me a reason to wake up again. One evening, my phone rang. Unknown number. I hesitated, then answered. It was his voice. My ex-husband. He said, I'm sorry. I ruined everything. I didn't know what I had, until I lost it. He cried. He asked to come back. But I was calm. Peaceful. I told him. I forgive you. But I've already been saved, by the one who never left me. He was silent. And for the first time, I wasn't. Today, I look in the mirror and see a woman I never thought I'd become, strong. Confident. Close to her Lord. The girl who once begged for love from a man, now begs only from Allah. I walk with my head high, not out of arrogance but out of healing. My life didn't end with heartbreak. Because from the ashes of betrayal, Allah raised me. And from the ruins of my marriage, He built something better, me. I am no longer His wife. I am Allah's servant. And that is the greatest honor of all. One night at the masjid, after Tarawih, an elderly sister approached me. She looked me in the eyes and said, I don't know you, but Allah put you in my heart during my du'a. Keep going. I broke down crying. Sometimes Allah sends strangers to remind you you're not forgotten. I walked home that night smiling through tears, because when people forget your name, Allah still remembers your pain. I began to enjoy my own company. Sitting in silence. Reading tafsir. Journaling. I learned that being alone wasn't a punishment. It was preparation. Preparation for something greater. A new version of me was being born. And every step felt like walking out of darkness into light. I met other divorced sisters. We formed a small group, not to complain, but to lift one another. We called it Healed by Him. We shared Quran ayahs that brought us peace. We made du'a for each other. We cried. We laughed. We rebuilt. I realized, the Ummah is full of silent warriors. Women who were hurt but refused to let it define them. And I was honored to be among them. My mother held my hand and said, I prayed for you every single night. I asked Allah to return your dignity. And He did. Not by bringing a man back but by bringing me back to myself. She kissed my forehead. She said, You're stronger now. I see it. And I realized. Healing doesn't always feel like magic. Sometimes it looks like your mother smiling at you with pride. I once wrote a letter to my ex-husband. But I never sent it. Thank you for leaving. You taught me who not to depend on. You showed me that love built on dunya breaks easily. But Allah's love is unbreakable. May Allah guide you. But I'm already home. I folded that letter, tucked it in my Quran, and smiled. I started doing small things that made me happy. Walking in the garden. Cooking for myself. Smiling at the mirror. For the first time, I didn't need someone to complete me. Because I was finally whole. I wore my abaya and niqab with pride. Not because I was forced to, but because I had found my identity again. And every time I saw my reflection, I saw a woman who had been broken. But chose to heal, with dignity. If you are hurting, broken, or abandoned, know this. Allah has not forgotten you. He will lift you. He will rebuild you. I am not telling a story of sadness. I am telling a story of rebirth. And to every sister listening, you are not what they did to you. You are what Allah can make of you. Stay patient. Stay close to Him. And one day, you'll look back and say, that pain was the beginning of my peace. One day she knocked on my door. The sister I once called family. The one who took what wasn't hers. She stood there, face tired, eyes red. I just came to say sorry. My heart trembled. But I didn't hate her. I had outgrown the need for revenge. I looked at her and said, may Allah forgive us both. And I meant it. Forgiveness didn't erase what happened. But it freed me from being tied to it. I stopped looking backward. I started walking forward. My soul felt lighter. Like I had returned something heavy I was never meant to carry. Because when you forgive for the sake of Allah, you win, even if you lost. I learned to love again. Not another man, but myself. The woman who rose from heartbreak. The one who found Allah in her loneliest nights. I began to look in the mirror and smile. You made it by His mercy. And that love. It wasn't selfish. It was sacred. I was invited to speak at a small sisters' gathering. I shared my journey. Not with tears but with strength. They cried. They smiled. One whispered. You gave me hope to live again. And I realized, my pain had turned into light for others. At the masjid, a little girl ran to me. She hugged me and said, you look like an angel. I laughed. I cried. Because once upon a time, I didn't even think I was worth a smile. But now, even children saw the nur Allah placed in me. Dear me, I know you're hurting. But hang on. One day you'll look back and thank Allah for every broken piece. Because He didn't break you. He was remaking you. If you are reading this or listening, and you're hurting, my dua for you is simple. May Allah heal what no one sees. May He return to you better than what was taken. And may He fill your heart with peace that never leaves. Ameen. I started teaching again. I started living again. Not with desperation but with direction. I stopped chasing love. And started chasing Jannah. Because I knew. This world may break you. But Allah will build you beyond it. I stopped trying to look perfect. Stopped explaining myself to people. I chose peace over pleasing. And faith over fear. I still have hard days. But they no longer destroy me. Because my anchor is now the one who never lets go. One morning, I woke up before far. I sat with my Quran and tea. And I realized, I was content. Not because life became easy. But because I learned to lean on the most merciful. The girl who once cried herself to sleep. Now rises for tahajjud. Because in losing what I thought I needed, I found what I was always searching for, Allah. Maybe you've been betrayed. Maybe you've been broken. But know this. Allah never abandons a heart that turns to Him. Your story isn't over, it's just beginning. And sometimes it takes the deepest wound to uncover the strongest faith. Ya Allah, for every sister who's been left behind, be her companion in the silence. Replace her loss with something far better. And turn her tears into light. On the day when there is no shade but yours. Ameen. If this story touched your heart, don't keep it to yourself. Like, comment, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? This channel is your home for stories that heal, inspire, and revive your faith. Until next time, stay patient, stay hopeful, and remember, Allah is always with you.